All right, check 1 2. Hopefully my microphone is connected, and yep, it still is. See the little blue light. How's everybody doing? Hope y'all doing well. Let me calm down because I'm super nervous again about being in front of a camera, but at the same time, this is what I believe that I'm best at, because there's no way that I can say that. No, let me take that back. There's no way that Jesus says that I'm the light of the world, right? And I have this light, knowing about Jesus and this faith about God, and I just keep it to myself. So, just wanted to throw that out there. It was really on my chest. Speaking of being the light of the world, we got some really good feedback from the last video. So thank you for showing love and support on my first video about confidence. It really does mean a lot to me when I get feedback saying that, it helped them. And I got one comment. Hold on. I got one comment. I screenshotted it, man. I screenshotted both of these comments. That was actually on the channel. Like, I got feedback outside of the channel, from my friends and family and stuff like that. But, but these comments, they made my whole week, to be honest. So JR3C, I think I'm saying it right. JR3C said, I feel so touched by this video. I personally been going through it. I definitely know that the Spirit of God is speaking through you to me. I feel so emotional right now. And when I saw that, I woke up maybe like 5:45 in the morning and I saw that. But that made the rest of my week. And that's just one of the comments. I got another one under, Just Vic 8878 said, blessings upon blessings, brother. Thank you for uploading this. Keep doing what you're doing. Y'all, like that, those two comments on the channel made my whole week. And of course, outside the channel as well. Like, I love the impact that God was able to make through me. And I'm glad that God was using me to reach to you, whoever's watching this video, and many others. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep coming together. Let's stay unified. Please, let's stay unified. And share these messages with other people. Thank you for the amazing impact we left on the first video on the channel. And welcome to video number 2. And today we're going to be talking about discipline. You see in the title, you see in the thumbnail, discipline. How to acquire godly discipline. And this discipline is not the world's definition of discipline, but it's the next level. It's the discipline that I really believe that God wants us to have as we walk this earth, right? So, with that being said, I can talk all day about how I'm feeling and stuff like that, but I think it's really God's time to shine. And let me just show y'all what God showed me so I can share with y'all, man, because that's what we're about to get into. You see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes that I've prepared. And yeah, people, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. So, this is how to acquire godly discipline, right? Let me just tell you the purpose of this video once more. The purpose of this video will be about learning how to acquire godly discipline and staying focused on the task and goal that has been assigned to you. Everyone has an assignment. Whether you know it or not, everyone has an assignment. Everyone has a purpose. In order for us to have godly discipline, we first have to understand what discipline actually is, right? So I took some time to gather 2 definitions of what discipline is. And the first definition, it says, discipline is control gained by enforcing obedience or order. That's the first definition. The second definition is orderly or prescribed conduct or patterns of behavior. What I got from those 2 definitions, all those 2 put together, in other words, it's self-control. And if I'm being completely honest, I really believe that we are living in a time now where there's so many people walking on this earth who lack self-control. They can't control themselves when it comes to God knows what. Some people can't control themselves when it comes to drugs, when it comes to sex, when it comes to people's pleasing. They lack self-control. They lack discipline. And there's so many things that you need discipline in order to maintain. You need discipline in order to have self-control. You need discipline in order to keep your mind together. Try not to overthink. Try not to worry. You need discipline. You got to keep yourself in control. I know it could be ugly right now, and maybe it is ugly right now, but you gotta stay in control. It takes discipline. It takes discipline for a lot of different things. It takes discipline to stay consistent with something that you say you're gonna do, something that you say you're gonna achieve. It takes discipline to get up every morning and go to the gym. It takes discipline to get up every morning and go to work. It takes discipline to stay in control when it comes to people, right? When people are out of control and you stay in control, that takes discipline. Everybody says they crashing out now, they breaking loose, wreaking havoc, crashing out. Man, I just saw something. Everybody says that. That's like a trend, right? Everybody says they're crashing out like they about to lose it. You know what I'm saying? They can't control themselves anymore. They just let loose, go rampant. But you need discipline in order to keep yourself together. You don't want to make a scene. You don't want to worry nobody. And not even just that, but you don't want to look psychotic. You don't want to look crazy. Like, I know that they made you upset. I know that they was talking about you. I know they was doing stuff behind your back, and then you found out later on and stuff like that. But you gotta have discipline. You gotta have control over yourself. You don't want to lash out at nobody. You need discipline in order to keep your business running. You need discipline, financial discipline, in order to make sure that you still got enough to do what you need to do. You need emotional discipline in order to understand people. You need spiritual discipline in order to keep a tight relationship with God, right? You need discipline to keep your physical health up. Go to the gym. If you don't mind, can I get a little deeper? Let's get personal. It takes a lot of discipline to not talk to multiple girls while you're in a relationship. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline not to entertain other women while you with a woman. Vice versa. It takes a lot of discipline to not entertain other men while you're with somebody. It takes a lot of discipline to keep the marriage alive and keep the spark going, even when it starts dying out. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm not married, of course. I'm only 22, turning 23 next week. And I surround myself with a lot of disciplined people. They taught me a lot about discipline and excellence and really just keeping yourself in order. Discipline, man. Self-control. Because let me tell you something about self-control. Nobody else can control you. It's there. Self-control is there. Move on to the next thing, because I know I be talking, man. So what are the benefits of someone who has discipline? Well, one, they're focused. Self-discipline can help you focus on the task and recognize their importance. It can also help you understand your goals and your plans, which can increase your focus and dedication to achieve them. When you're focused, you become more punctual, dependable, and proactive. And you can overcome procrastination and laziness. I know for sure, if I'm being honest, procrastination is definitely one of the biggest things in my life that sets me back. For sure. Let me be completely honest. Can I be completely honest? This video that I'm making right now, I literally made it the day before. I made it on a Thursday. And it released today. My point is, I'm doing all this extra hard work so I can beat the deadline for the time that I said that I'm gonna, put out videos and stuff. But I procrastinate heavy. It's terrible. And slowly but surely, I'm working on it, for sure. I'm working on it. It's gonna get a lot better, for sure. But so with time. What other benefits does someone has when they have discipline? Success. Self-discipline can help you achieve your goals and find joy in your success. It can also give you the inner strength to follow through with your actions, thoughts, and behaviors, which can lead to improvement. Improvement is always good. I always want to self-improve. Happiness. Discipline can bring you happiness. I can think about so many times before I didn't have discipline and I ended up regretting it because I ended up doing something that I wasn't supposed to, right? But then I remember many times where I did acquire discipline and it saved me from a lot of trouble. It saved me from a lot of trouble because I acknowledged that, that it saved me from what could have been a worse situation that I was already in. Yeah, of course I was happy. Yeah, I was joyful. I was mostly joyful at that time because, I didn't get in trouble or nothing like that. But it brought me happiness because I was able to stick up for myself and I was able to say no to that situation. I had enough sense to require discipline at that moment. I knew my limit then. I just thought about something else too. Like, I know you see on the internet, when it comes to ego lifters. We know an ego lifter when we see one. I love bodybuilders who know their limit because eventually they'll surpass the limit that they're at, but they already know that takes time and that takes practice too, right? And what I thought about was, when ego lifters, again, trying to be the biggest in the gym and trying to be the strongest in the gym, trying to lift heavy and stuff like that, and they end up hurting themselves because I know at some point, and this was me too at a certain point, I didn't go like super crazy, but when I tried to lift heavy and it didn't work out, you can imagine, like, it just didn't work out. I'm sure at a certain point, when you get ready to lift that barbell, when you get ready to do deadlifts or something like that, curls, whatever. Long story short, because that person didn't have discipline, it became the reason that they had a downfall. I thank God for the many times that I had where I was able to avoid having a downfall because I acquired discipline at that time. So what other benefits we get from having discipline? You got self-focus, you got success, you got happiness, you got other traits. Self-discipline can help you develop other traits, important traits, such as tolerance, patience, and self-control. These traits can help you be more resilient and improve your mental and physical health as well as your relationships. You end up having better intentions with people. Having discipline, it changes your mindset. It really changes a lot, inside and outside. Like, it changes your mindset, and then having discipline changes your environment as well. And what I mean by that is, if let's just say let's just be realistic, because not all friends stay forever, right? But you hanging out with a group of friends, maybe 5, 6 of y'all, right, at a certain point, and then life goes on. You start to realize at a certain point, I can't be doing what they doing, right? They drink, they smoke, they go party all the time. That used to be fun to me, but that's not fun to me anymore. So you started to back off a little bit. They start to see that change, right? Then they want to be calling you out, say you switched on them, stuff like that. No, it's not that. It's just I gotta stay focused on what I gotta do. We almost done with school. We about to graduate. Instead of going party, I could be spending more time studying so I can stay ahead of these classes. I may graduate early if I stay focused on what I gotta do. You know what I mean? When you have discipline, then eventually you're even gonna start wanting people who have discipline as well. Who else is focused? Who else is purposeful? Who else is driven by goals, and who's ambitious about wanting to achieve those goals and reach new achievements, Who's like that? Because whoever you surrounded by, if they don't get it together soon, they're gonna be left behind. And that's not a threat or nothing like that. That's not supposed to be threatening, but that's life. It's gonna change. When you change, everything else is gonna change. Which actually gets into my next point. What happens if you don't have discipline? So we already talked about what benefits we gain when we have discipline. Focus, self-control, happiness, other traits, tolerance, patience, all this other stuff, right? But what happens if we don't have discipline? We become distracted. We become vulnerable. We're weakened because our mind isn't focused on the end goal. If you want to stay disciplined, if you want to stay focused on your life and what's ahead, what you got going for you, you really got to ask yourself first, what's your end goal? Is your end goal making six figures, or is your end goal generational wealth? It's the big difference. Is your end goal to stop being sad, or is the end goal finding a cure to your depression? What's the end goal? It's something important that you should really ask yourself if you want to continue living on this earth. What's the end goal? It's so important that you live your life the right way instead of doing whatever you want to because you only have one life. Yes, you only have one life, but whatever you do now is going to affect you for the rest of your life. So if you lock in right now, you could be my age. You lock in right now and you do what you need to do, I'm telling you, next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, all that's gonna pay off because you focused right now. But if you, this is my time to party, this is my time to do whatever I want, this is my time to go talk to those girls and, knock them off the bucket list or whatever. This is my time to add new dudes on the roster. Yeah, I know about the roster. I be on TikTok sometimes, I'll be messy on that too. That's why I don't be on it. If you're not focused right now, you're distracted. You're not focused. You're going to be left behind. And while the people who are focused and who are driven are just passing you up, you lack self-control and you did what you want to instead of doing what you need to. What else happens if we don't have discipline? It becomes easier to be tempted. When somebody makes you mad, they cuss at you, you cuss at them. It becomes easier because you're giving in to your emotions. No emotional intelligence, no emotional discipline. And you give in to those type of things. You give in to the things of this world. Spending money on whatever you want to just because you want it. I don't know how everyone else is going to feel about this. But for the celebrities, you got enough money to... And let me backtrack a little bit before I say what I was going to say. It's not every celebrity, right? We got good people out there, but there's some. You got some people out here, who give back to the community, right? But then you got other people who just do what they want to do. Have it make sense for me. How does it make any sense for you to spend $50,000, right? $100,000 on a chain or a new car, right? But then, I walk outside my neighborhood and we got people who still homeless. You spend money on sex, but you don't want to invest that money for generational wealth. Spend it on drugs and whatever makes you feel good. But then you got people who have drug addictions who want to stop, but they can't. You can get them out those streets. You can do that. Again, not calling nobody out, but I see it all the time on social media, and I hate to say it's the world we live in, but it's the world we live in, and it's terrible. So you can be easily tempted. Spending all your money on whatever you want. Giving into your emotions. Easily tempted by the devil. Devil playing tricks on you, man. Lying to you. Saying you're not good enough. Saying you're not making enough. Now you overworking yourself. Now you burnt out. Now you don't want to do nothing. Now you're not motivated no more. And now you complaining. Oh, I don't make this. I don't make six figures. I don't do this. I don't do that. You complaining now instead of going out there and get it. It's crazy how I said that. Because what else happens when we don't have discipline? We become less responsible and less accountable for our actions and what we do. We don't want to take responsibility for nothing. We're not responsible anymore. Literally what I just said. People out here making millions, trillions, but still got other people out here who are suffering. And it's crazy too, because not just talking about celebrities, but anyone with large amounts of money, right? Can have all the money in the world you want to and still not have discipline. Still can't be happy. Still can't keep a woman. And if you have a woman, you can't make her your wife because you don't want to make her your wife. Sleeping with that man who's not your husband. I'm just saying. No discipline to know better. No discipline to know your self-worth. You're worth something. You're worth something. You are valuable. And when you have discipline, you know that. If you have something to write with, I don't know if you're taking notes or not. If you just listening, that's fine. But, you could just jab this down in your notes, text it to yourself, whatever. Here's a note, okay? If you don't have self-discipline, it causes problems, health problems, distractions, procrastinations, financial problems, clutter. Things start to pile up and it starts to overwhelm you. So, it's such an important skill to develop. But most people don't even know where to start when it comes to discipline. Like a lot of people will say, for example, save your money. How do I save money? Because eventually I'm gonna have to spend it. People will tell you to save your money, put it to the side. Okay, what if a rainy day comes the next day? Now I gotta pull that money out. It gets messy, and it gets messy quick. People just don't know where to start, right? And not just when it comes to saving, but I'm just talking about discipline in general, right? So that's why I made 3 keys on how to acquire godly discipline. So, key number 1 to acquiring godly discipline: have a clear vision. In other words, let God know what you want. Let God know what you want. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 through 3, in the NIV version. I love the NIV version. It says, "Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tables, so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end. It will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come. It will not delay." So you gotta make it known first what you want, right? Like what I ended up doing. Let me give you an example. I don't tell a lot of people this, but this is just between me and you. You know what I'm saying? So everything I ever wanted in life, right? Never thought about doing this before, but last year around Christmas, no, around New Year's actually, I made a vision board for myself. Like I made my own vision board. Went to Walmart, got the board, all that stuff. Like very similar to, like, I don't know, you see like the corner of this? This is like another board. That's not the vision board. It's like my little daily schedule that I keep to remind myself of stuff. But I created that vision board, and everything I have on that vision board is mostly portraits. Every portrait that I have on that vision board is everything that I want in my life. Success, people, family, Christ. I want it all. So I made it plain. I made it visibly plain. God, he may not be, just walking around like how I'm walking around, just, open my prayer closet door and he's like, "Oh, what you got going on?" Like, but he sees where my heart is, and he sees the desires that I have in my life. So you gotta let God know what you want and make it plain, make it visible, and let him know. Let him know. So that's key number 1. Key number 2 for how to acquire godly discipline: have trust in God's plan for your life. How you gonna do that? Giving God the vision that you just made and allowing him to perfect it so you can be where he wants you to be. So now we're taking us out the picture, right? We're taking ourselves out the equation. We first made the vision, right? We have the vision. We have a clear vision about what we want, how we're gonna acquire discipline. After we write the vision down, after we make the vision board, whatever you do, then give it to God so he can make it perfect. Make it a perfect plan. And I say that because we have to come to an understanding. Why do we have to give God our vision? Because not only can he make it perfect, but we have to come outside of ourselves, right? And understand that we're not perfect. Nothing is ever going to go our way, right? Ultimately, like I'm just being real with you. Whatever your vision is, like I personally want you to achieve everything that you have on your vision board, piece of paper, whatever you wrote the vision on. I want that to happen for you. But I also want God's best for you. I'm speaking to myself too when I say this. Sometimes not everything I want is everything I need. And sometimes not everything I want is the best for me. The only person on this not even on this earth. The only person, period, I know who genuinely wants and truly wants the best for me is God. I can't make my plans perfect. I can't do none of that. That's why I gotta give my vision to God so he can make it perfect. And wherever he wants me to be, I know that I'm gonna be alright. Because that's where he wants me to be. And that's where I'm trying to reach. I'm in the kingdom now. I'm not of this world. We rocking with the kingdom, we love it here, So again, key number 2, have trust in God's plan for your life, giving him the vision and allowing him to perfect it so you can be where he wants you to be. It says in Jeremiah 29:11, of course in the NIV version, again, love the NIV. And this is my favorite verse. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Again, that's Jeremiah 29:11 in the NIV Bible. See, God already knows what he wants from us. He knows what the plan is. He gonna make it right. So just imagine where you would be if everything you wanted, you gave it to the one who can make it all happen. You see what I'm saying? He can make it happen. And he'll only, whatever is best for you, he's gonna make it happen for you. He gonna make it happen just for you. Like, I don't think y'all understand, God is selfish when it comes to you. He loves you. And I'm not saying that like, some of them people on the internet saying, God loves you so much, trying to get views and stuff like that. No, I'm serious, bro. God loves you. God loves me. God loves you to the core. He crafted you so perfectly. He made you so beautifully. You're made in God's image. So if you're made in God's image, why wouldn't God want the best for you? Why wouldn't God have a plan for you? Why wouldn't God have an assignment for you? Unless you ultimately denied God, that's a different story. But we're not here for that. No. Team God. Now, here's something that when I was reading the scripture, it spoke out to me because, when I was doing my research, when I was studying and stuff like that, I came across something that I also thought y'all should hear. Let's be real, y'all. It may impact y'all differently, the same way that, maybe it'll impact y'all the same way that it impacted me, but just hear me out when I say this, right? I'm gonna read what the NIV says, and then I'm gonna read what the Message says. Now, I'm speaking from verses 8 and 9. This is what I want y'all to just hear me out. Hear me out. So what spoke out to me, verse 8 and 9, yes, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel says. Do not let the prophets and diviners among you deceive you. Do not listen to the dreams you encourage them to have. They are prophesying lies to you in my name. I have not sent them, declares the Lord. Now, the Message Bible, it says, yes, believe it or not, this is the message from God of the angel armies, Israel's God. Don't let all those so-called preachers and know-it-alls who are all over the place take you into their lies. Don't pay any attention to the fantasies. They keep coming to you. They're a bunch of liars preaching lies and claiming I sent them. I never sent them. Believe me, God's decree. We're talking about having discipline, right? Here's where I'm getting with this. I put it here, and I'm glad I put it down because this is very important. What I put down was, you may be surrounded by people who believe that they know better for you. Instead of encouraging you to stay focused, they silently and smoothly give you distractions. Distractions such as, you've worked hard enough, right? Bro, let's go to this party. Let's go drink, let's go smoke. Or let's relax, let's just chill out for the day. You've done enough. Let's go dance, drink, smoke, play the game, etc. They think they know what's best for you. It's a fantasy because they may believe that their distractions can be your rest, when really, in reality, it could be your setback. It could be your setback, man. It's so important to, again, look out for people who do not have discipline. We're not even going to say who have the same mindset as you, because you may not have the same mindset as everyone else. And that's cool. But when you grow into a disciplined mindset, be aware of those people who you see and who you know don't have discipline in their life. If they don't have the discipline qualities, the discipline benefits we talked about at the beginning of the video, you gotta take a step back. Stay away from those people because they're gonna set you up. They're gonna set you back to the beginning. And I know there's been many times, many times in my life where I eventually got tired of starting over. I'm gonna do it later. I'm gonna do it, in the morning. I'm gonna get it later. All this other stuff, just pushing stuff back. What, they just don't feel like it no more? They just gave up on it? Nah. Nah, man, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to acquire godly discipline, man. You can't get this discipline from anywhere else. Not at all. So stay away from those people, man. Now the third key, I really need you to hear me on this. The third key is on how to acquire godly discipline. Wait on God's plan to be fulfilled. So wait on God. Want discipline? Wait on God. It says here in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. And then I'm going to bring it to Isaiah 40 verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Waiting on God is the best thing that you can do. Waiting on God is better than you just going out there trying to get what you want. And you get it from the wrong place, at the wrong time, from the wrong person. And like I said before, you end up setting yourself back. Not just for failure, but for despair. Waiting on God, and see, I said wait on God is another key for acquiring godly discipline, because waiting on God's not easy. This whole thing, it's not meant to be easy, but it's meant for the best. You want the best version of yourself? Wait on God, because that's the only being who has the best for you. And waiting on God, in other words, not only do you get your strength back, but you're not going out there chasing. Have you ever ran so fast that you didn't even look at where you're going? You were just going, right? You chasing. You're after something. I don't know what you was running after to make you go that fast where you're not even looking where you're going. But whatever you chasing, it could be your setback. And when it comes to God and his timing, God's never late. You don't have to chase God for nothing. God's always on time. God's always there. So you don't need to chase God trying to catch up to him. Nah, he's there. He's there, man. Put this in your notes somewhere. Waiting on God isn't easy, but waiting is worth it. It's worth the wait, man. It's worth the wait. When you finally reach your end goal, when you finally can rest, when you can finally say that I did it, I made it through, you can rest, man. You can take it easy. And don't just rest. Let God be your rest. Let God shelter you. Let God comfort you. Rest in God, man, because you made it. Why? Because you waited on him. It wasn't easy. Did you have moments where you wanted to slip back to that old lifestyle? Yeah. Where you wanted to slip back into the drugs, slip back with that man, slip back to that old crew you used to hang out with, slip back into your old ways of living after God had brought you out? Of course. Why? Because being back there, it was easy. Living that old lifestyle, sleeping with a bunch of women, sleeping with a bunch of dudes, getting what I want when I wanted it, it was easy. Because there's always somebody out there who's actually willing to give you what you want. I kid you not. There's always somebody out there. But it's never the best. So again, waiting's not easy, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Why is it worth it? Because it shows that you have discipline. Because you aren't going to get what you want from the world. Simple as that. But then, here's a good question. What does waiting on God actually look like? I got 3 more keys for you. I got it for you. Don't even worry about it. And here's your answer. Waiting on God, in my answer, my personal answer, now you can answer this however you want to. But waiting on God What that looks like for me is becoming 1% better each and every day. 1% better. Waiting on God. And what do I mean by that? Waiting on God, you're working, right? You're actively participating in the work He desires you to accomplish. You're working towards that goal. You're working towards that dream. You're not just sitting doing nothing. You're not being lazy, but you're working, right? You're expecting. You're waiting with expectancy. Like, you're not just going to ask God for something. You're not going to make it through these 3 keys and expect nothing. You want something. You want what's best. And you should wait expecting the best. Why? Because God is the best. You serve the best. You're protected by the best. Wait with expectancy. And what else? You're believing. You're believing all the way through. I know it's not easy to wait. I know it's not even easy to believe. Even though it's not even here yet, the situation may be ugly. I may be down. I may be depressed. I may have anxiety. My anxiety is going up. I may have just gotten in a car accident, a coma. My relative just died. But I'm still believing. I'm waiting. I'm still believing for the best. I'm believing for the promise that He made to me to be fulfilled. I'm just waiting, man, because if I know anything about God, I'm not a perfect Christian. I know I'm not. I don't read my word all the time. I don't know how to speak in tongues. I can't interpret tongues. I can't interpret scripture sometimes. But if there's one thing I've always known about God ever since I decided that I wanted to get close to Him, He never failed me. He is a promise-keeping God. Always has been. And I see it all the time. I see it for different people. And I see it for me. I see it for my family. I see it for my friends. I see that. Even when I was distracted, even when I was out there doing what I wanted to do, He never failed me. He still hasn't failed me yet. He's not failing me right now. I can't tell you how many times I pressed record on this video because I kept messing up. But He pushed me through. He didn't fail me. He gave me that strength. That's what waiting on God looks like, man. You're not just sitting around doing nothing. You're working, you're expecting, you stay believing. Now, we're pretty close to the end of the video, right? Now, if you made it all the way to the end, I know this is a pretty lengthy video, right? I got a 4th key, right? A bonus key on how to acquire godly discipline, right? And this is what I truly believe that God shared with me, that I also wanted to share with you. Because, again, we living in a time now, nobody has discipline. Or you rarely see anybody with discipline, right? You may be looking at this video and thinking to yourself, I have discipline. You haven't had discipline in all areas of your life. I haven't had discipline in all areas of my life. No way. And I can never say that I have. But the bonus key that I'm sharing with you now on how to acquire godly discipline, you gotta be selfish. You have to. You gotta learn how to say no to people. Okay? You have to learn how to stay away from people. People who you know you will be distracted by. Who you know who don't have the best intentions for you. Like, this is a season of life where you really have to stick through the plan. Right? Stick through it. Stick to the plan. Stick through the plan. Get through it. But you can't be distracted. If you're distracted, you're falling off course. And now you're struggling trying to get back on. You gotta be selfish right now. You have to. There's no other way. This is a very selfish season that you have to be in. You have to stick to yourself right now. But what God showed me about being selfish is that it's your transformation on being selfless. Because in the long run, you're not saying no to the parties, to drinking, to the smoking, to the sex, to the women, to the men. You're not saying no just to say no because you're rude. But in the long run, in your future that God promised you, you're going to grow to be selfless. I'm dedicating my life to Jesus Christ. Not just because I want to hide this light to myself, but I'm sharing it with the world in the best way that I can. I'm not locking in on my finances because I'm just trying to save some extra money on the side, but I'm trying to build generational wealth So my people and my family, they don't got nothing to worry about in the next 5 to 10 years. My family's not gonna live in poverty. My house is gonna serve God when I start my family. My children are gonna know who Jesus is. The spirit of depression is not gonna be anywhere in our family facility. Spirit of being overwhelmed, uninterest, all these negative feelings and emotions and spirits that linger on the earth, they're not gonna be nowhere near mine. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be the same way. You gotta be selfish. Selfishness, and let God transform your selfishness into selflessness, because you're not just doing it for you. You're not just doing it for you. So, that's all I got, man. This is a very lengthy video, but it is an important video. And I hope you stick through the end. And thank you for watching. And until next time, I pray you have a great day, great night, wherever you're watching this from. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, people.